Howdy. Today, we're going to be talking about something a little bit random, seemingly out of left field. Well, literally random. We're going to be talking about random number generation, what it is, how it works, and some methods that could be used that may or may not be useful. So, without further ado, I'd say it's fine to get started now. So, what a random variable is, make it not capture the cursor so you don't have to keep seeing that, is suppose you have something that you want. Like, suppose you have a bag of marbles that you want to grab a certain marble out of. You would call a random number generator in order to get which of those marbles should come out. Or, for instance, if I were to select, I'm just going to grab items randomly from the hotbar. Suppose I wanted to get one of these items at random. To do that, I would select a random number between 0 and 9. And I'm just going to pick a random number here. 8. So, how do you implement that in code, though? I did a video on this a while ago with what's known as pseudo-random generation. And pseudo-random generation is alright, but it's not flawless. The main issue with pseudo-generation is that a lot of them find themselves in loops. Like, suppose, I don't know, let's get started with the code on this. Let's do scoreboard, objectives, add tutorial, test RNG. And then to execute as, just do scoreboard. Scoreboard players, add at a 1. Now, it would be like 40, I'll do like 47. At a scores let's see. What do I want to do for the upper limit? Let's go with 100. Why not? Let's go with 100. Just so I can show this off. And then tab back in, reload, and then do scoreboard, objectives, set display, side, not Team Aqua. Oops. I completely bungled that. There we go. Now, you might notice some numbers are showing up pretty frequently. You can see a 4 in there, you can see a 97, a 47. That is the downside of this method. And even if I were to make it, let's tab back over, if I were to make it 103, now both of those are primes. So in theory, you would think that that would be a better method because they don't share any, there's less of a chance for them to make a chord. But if you notice, it did absolutely nothing. The reason why it's doing this is because even as primes, they still have chords that they can strike. Because the way that you can think about a lot of them is that you're either adding 47 if it's less than 103, or you're adding 47 minus whatever, however far over you go. So it would probably be like 31. And this number will constantly be changing, but it changes in a predictable fashion. So this will inevitably reach values that it's reached before. Now, let me clunk down the number to 17, which is also a prime, so it should work, right? Well, even then, 100 is appearing at a very frequent rate. There's a rhythm to it, and this rhythm is detrimental. Because suppose that everyone has a speed that they like to do things at, a natural rhythm. If they accidentally tap into this rhythm, then it will negatively or positively impact their luck. Because think about it. If someone swings at the same rate as every time it clicks for 100, they will almost always get that same RNG value. We want to avoid that. So, how do we do that? The way that we do this is with a little clever bit of math. Let's do execute as at a. Let's just do summon marker first. Normally this is a bad idea, but I'll explain why this is good in a second. And then tags RNG maker. And then execute as at a. Bollocks, I keep making that mistake. Run data get entity at s. Nope. At e tag equals RNG maker UUID 0 1. So what this is going to do is when I run it, it will take as every single player, it will get the UUID that I discussed last video, only the first value, and copy it. And now what I want to do is store result score at s tutorial test RNG, like so. What this will do is it'll copy this UUID into here. And now I'll need to make another function, another scoreboard here that I'm going to call constant. Whatever, I'll just give it that name since we're never going to see it through the sidebar. And then let's do scoreboard players set at a constant. Let's set it to, let's go with 1000. And then scoreboard players operation at a I didn't mean to do that. This should be the RNG. And then kill at e tag equals RNG maker. So that was quite a bit of code, but let's see if it works. It did not work. Okay, what's wrong? Oh, it should be limit of 1. Oh my god. Woo! So it's definitely getting the value. Hang on, let me refactor this a bit. I think I know what's going wrong. That should do it, I think. Well, the values are being kept under control at least, but something's still amiss. Oh! Silly me. I need to use the other one. So, there's two different operations that you can do here. There is divide, and there's modulus. Modulus is a weird operation. imagine you do long division, but you only take the remainder. That's what modulus is. So, like, modulus 7 of 10, you divide, or modulus 7 of 10, just imagine long division, 10 divided by 7. 7 goes into 10 one time, and you're left with a remainder of 3. So 3 is your answer. In this case, notice it is now a lot less predictable. This is exactly what we want here. So now, like, yeah, that's all well and good. We have that here. What do we do with it now, is the question. Well, we can use it. We can use it for a lot of things. There's a ton of stuff that you can use random number generation for. And for instance, let me go ahead and make a rare drop system. Something to bear in mind before I do anything is mobs cannot be interacted with past a certain point once they have died. Once their death time is set to anything other than 0, they're very difficult to interact with, especially when it comes to stuff like spawning items at their location. So we have to use a workaround. And that workaround is, let's do execute as at E. My madness will make sense in a moment. AT. No, I'll just do type equals snowball. No need to do something complex here. At S, run, kill at S. Not at, score. Summon zombie. Tags. Has rare loot. And then run summon marker. Tags. Rare loot. So what this is going to do, every time I throw a snowball, it will summon a zombie and a marker. The zombie is tagged has rare loot. The marker is tagged rare loot. And then I can do execute as. Yeah, I'll get used to this because I'm going to be using it in a second. Rare loot at S run TP at S at E tag equal has rare loot limit equals 1. Oops. Sort nearest. And you could also use a loot table for this, but I hate working with loot tables with every fiber of my being, so I prefer this method. Sounds like I'm exaggerating there, but I'm really not. They suck. I hate working with them. That should all be well and good. Reload. Let's get this junk out of my inventory. Get a snowball. If you'll notice, you see that end particle. That particle is from the Death Handler. Or Death Handler. It's from the thing that I made. It's still alive. The next step is to make it so that it dies whenever its host dies. So execute as at E tag equals rare loot at S if entity, unless entity at E. It's a distance of 2 just in case. Sometimes it likes to break randomly if the distance is too low. Run, kill at S. So now, if I did this right, yes, okay, so it killed it correctly. Now comes the fun part. Let's say that I want it to have a 1 in 7 chance to drop, I don't know. Let's say a carrot. No, they already dropped carrots, though. Gold ingot, fine. I'll make it a gold ingot, because I can't think of anything else. Run. I can do if if entity at p scores equals, oops, tutorial test RNG equals up to 142. That's approximately 1/7 of the numbers that it can choose from. It's not perfect, but it doesn't really matter. Run, let's do summon item, tilde, 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 item, ID, Minecraft, gold, oops, gold ingot. And then count, :1b. And maybe I'll add some, I know this is a bit flamboyant, but I'm fine with it. Run particle item gold nugget, tilde, 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 0.3, 0.3, 0.3, 0.2, 0.3, 20. I want to add some sounds too, but let's make sure it works at least. Oh, what am I doing? I have to spawn with a snowball. And they all have their separate death handlers as well. For them all to burn up. Here we go. And drop some gold. It's a lot of gold. Not sure what's up with that. But there we go. Now, the last thing that I want to do with this is, right now I have it as end rod particles. Suppose I want the particles to be randomized. That is, suppose I want a choice between, I don't know, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. You know the deal. So let me hop over into MC Stacker here. Window capture, please. Work with me here, window capture. Okay. That's good. And then I'll do particle this time. And what I need is dust. This is a strange thing. This is a very strange thing. Let's do it so that it goes two blocks above. And then this is the color for the reddest of reds. I'm fine with that. The normal part doesn't really matter, so I'm not even going to bother copying it over. I'll plop that down for a moment. Send it in. Swap you out, and then do scores of. Just copy all this over verbatim, and that'll work. Oh no, actually I can't. Right. If entity at p, it goes in here rather. And then the next step would be to do something like, basically copy paste 143 to, what'd that be, 284? And then green, this would be 0.33, something like that. And then 285. All right, I'm just gonna pull up a calculator because I don't want to have to do this stuff. $427, that's the next one. And that would be yellow, so that'd be... this would be 0.5 then. And then, yeah, I think that's fine for now. I can add in the rest of the colors once I'm done, but let's just make sure that it works. Reload, spawn in the special zombie, and there we have it. There's fire coming out of his head. Not what I meant by fire, friend. Set the time to night. There's unfortunately not a way to plug random variables directly into things like particle commands, so you have to do workarounds. I'd love there to be a way for you to do that, but you cannot, which is unfortunate. You can kind of do it with functions, but we haven't gotten to functions yet, so far, there's no way to do it. Ooh, how terrifying. Whatever will we do? That's actually not a bad effect. There's one more thing that I want to mention that will segue quite nicely into the discussion about functions. If you notice, it's kind of hard to catch, but they're following the exact same pattern. The reason that they're following the exact same pattern is because the RNG value doesn't change between each zombie. It only changes between each frame. Every single frame, it will set a new RNG value, and then every single zombie will use that same value. So you end up with everyone using the same color. The question then becomes, how do we stop that? How do we make it so that every single one of these zombies has their own specifications for RNG? And for that, I'll leave it on a bit of a cliffhanger, because I don't want this video to be an accidental 2-for-1 like the NBT video, since functions go into a lot more depth than tags tend to. Also, I'm getting very unlucky. Come on. Oh, come on. That's unfortunate. None of them dropped anything. I did get an iron ingot, though, so I'd say it's like a 5% chance? I'd say that's better luck. It's much better luck. Regardless, I think that's good enough for now. The RNG value, like, ticking away in the background. Come on, I'll give it one more shot. No, it's not gonna happen. Either way, I think that's about all I got for this video. Thanks so much for watching, y'all. Have a good day.